Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at Royal Stadium in Kansas City. Cleveland Indians taking on the Kansas City Royals. Pitching matchup in this game, Ken Schrom, the right-hander for Cleveland, against Danny Jackson, the left-hander. Ballpark effects for Kansas City. Singles are 1 to 11, home runs 1 to 3. This is game number 165 of the season. Another game in the May 3rd, 1987 block. Cleveland enters the game 11 and 13. Kansas City enters 10 and 11. Hello, Kevin. In the previous game in this series, this was the game Scott Bales surprised everybody through 8 shutout innings of pitching. And Cleveland shut out Kansas City 3-0. 3 solo home runs, 2 by Joe Carter and 1 by Mel Hall, and they were the difference as Bales out-dueled Saberhagen. Camacho got the save. Gumpert, the only relief pitcher used by Kansas City, so pretty much everybody in the bullpen for both teams is available. So no worries in that area. Got our Kansas City Royal colored dice. And hopefully we are ready to get this game underway. There are your starting lineups. Bernazard at second, Franco at short, Carter in left, Tabler at first, Jacoby at third, Snyder and right, Castillo and DH, Butler center, and Dempsey catching. So pretty much a standard lineup. For the Royals, Wilson in center, Seitzer at third, Beniquez at first, Orta the DH, White at second, Bosley in right. He gets a rare start. He's usually a pinch hitter, but Tartable gets the night off. Bo Jackson in left, Angel Salazar, and Jamie Quirk round things out. Oh, I just hit my stand now and I screwed everything up. Let's get this back in play here. Just bumped into that stand. So I want to make sure that I have everything where it needs to be. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it right there. I think that's going to do it right there. Didn't mean to bump it, but sometimes you bump these things. It's right in front. The stand is right in front of me. So I literally have to roll around it and right around it. So it's bound to happen. My old stand used to be on the side, but this one's in the front. So it's just how it works out. Pull the game up on the Strat computer and we'll score it as we play it. Schrom against Danny Jackson. So Danny Jackson will finish up his warm-up tosses. Pitcher-catcher quotients are zeros for both Cleveland and Kansas City. Jackson is a wild pitch of 4, balk a 0. Schrom is a 5 on each. And we'll get the complete numbers on Jackson. He's 1-1 on the replay. 4.32 earned run average. 33 innings pitched, 31 hits, 18 walks, and 32 strikeouts. And leading off for Cleveland will be the switch-hitting second baseman, Tony Bernazard. He's hitting .287, 3 homers, and 10 driven in. And we're underway from Royal Stadium. It's a 3-11 for Bernazard, and that's a pop out to short. So Angel Salazar will take care of that. And we're underway. Bernazard is out there. Here's Julio Franco, hitting .291, a homer, and 10 driven in. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. That's 112 for Franco, and that's a foul out to the catcher Quirk. So 2 quick outs by Danny Jackson. And that'll bring up Joe Carter. He had the 2 home runs in the previous game that Cleveland won 3-0 when, amazingly, Scott Bales pitched 8 shutout innings. So on the replay, though, Carter is still struggling. 165 average, 3 homers, 5 driven in. That's a 3-3, and that's a fly ball to right. That's going to end the inning. Put away out there by Bosley. And the Tribe go very quietly, 1-2-3 in their half of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Cleveland 0, and Kansas City will be coming to bat. And on the mound for the Tribe will be right-hander Ken Schrom. Get the numbers on Schrom. He is on the replay 1-1, just like Jackson. His ERA is 4-4. 26 innings pitched, 25 hits, 11 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And Willie Wilson, center fielder, will lead it off. He's hitting .267, a homer, and 5 driven in. Oh, Suadice, we're going to re-roll that. We get a 3-4 for Wilson, and that is a pop up to first. And Tabler will put that away. 1 down, and that brings up third baseman Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer hitting .228, 2 homers, and 7 driven in. He's really struggling. He hit .323 real world. 110, and that's a single, so that'll help the old average. Seitzer will single. To get the lead, he needs a 5 or a 6 to obtain a lead. That's a 4. He does not get it, so he will hold. And here's first baseman Juan Beniquez. Beniquez on the replay hitting .286. 2 homers, 11 driven in. 4-6 for Schrom, and that's a walk. So that's going to put 2 on and only 1 out. Hopefully don't get what we had the other night where Minnesota and the Yankees got 2 different innings where they scored 9 runs in each inning. So that was a fiasco if I ever saw one. Here's George Orta, struggling, 0-59 in 17 at bats. No homers, 2 driven in. Tribe looking for the double play. 2-7, and they get a strikeout instead. He'll take it. Orta down on strikes. First strikeout for Schrom. And that takes over to veteran Frank White, second baseman. .217 average, 3 homers, 8 driven in. It's a 4-9, and that's going to be a fly to center field. Butler puts it away. And Kansas City comes away empty-handed to leave 2 on base for their trouble, but nothing else. The run column shows 0. At the end of 1, we got no score from Kansas City. Pat Tabler will set to lead things off for Cleveland. Hello, Brian B. Don't forget that noon tomorrow will be the first game of the NBC Game of the Week. Season ticket baseball, 1978, Yankees against Texas. Ron Guidry against John Matlack. And tomorrow night, it'll be a Hotel California game where the Boston Red Sox will be taking on the California Angels. Al Nipper throws his junk for the Red Sox against the Candyman, John Candelaria. But that's tomorrow night. Tonight, we got Pat Tabler hitting .375, 4 homers, 16 driven in. 6-6 for Jackson against a righty is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Salazar. He's a 2E16. 213, he'll get to it. E16. And that is a 9. Should be okay, you would think. E16, yep, 14 and 17. There's only 2 errors, so no problema. He makes the play, and Tabler is out. 1 away, and that's going to send up Brooke Jacoby, third baseman. He is the league leader in hitting right now at .411 in 90 at bats. He's hitting .411, 4 homers, 19 driven in. He is the only player over .400 in the league with required minimum number of at bats. .411, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. So we're right back to Salazar again. 2 and a 7. He'll still get to it. And again, the error chance is 14 and 17. And he's a good play. He was up to the task twice. 2 up and 2 down. And that'll take us to Corey Snyder. Snyder on the replay hitting .238, 3 homers, 8 driven in. That's a 3-6, and that's a 1-8 double. But that's a 17, so it's just a fly to left field, hauled in out there by Bo. And the inning's over. Nothing doing for Cleveland. Go to the bottom of the second, still no score. Thad Bosley will get the leadoff position this inning for Kansas City. Very limited duty, only 15 at bats. He is hitting .267, a homer and 3 driven in. 4-5 against the lefty. Fly ball to left. And out there, Joe Carter makes the play. 1 down. For Bo Nose. Bo Jackson. Hitting .282. 1 homer, 9 driven in. 6-10, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. That's Jacoby. He's a 4 E25. The 4 could be problematic. 4 and a 4 is not good. Let's check him out here. 4 and a 4 is going to be a single. And now we're looking at his error rating of 25. He's got to avoid 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17. Those are the numbers to avoid. And that's a 6. He did not avoid it. So not only is it a single, but it's also based on the E25. That number 6 there is also a 1 base error. So it's a single plus an error on Jacoby. So Jackson will take second base, single in the E5. Kobe airmailed that one. Trying to rush his throw to get Jackson, who was going to beat it out anyway. It matters worse, putting him on second base. So Jackson will be held. He runs as fast as you can in Strat at 17. Can't get any faster than that. They will hold him on for Angel Salazar. Salazar is hitting .370, surprisingly. Just 54 at bat, so it's still early. A homer and 5 driven in. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the pass ball rating of Dempsey, which is a 3. And it is a 3. It'll be a pass ball. That'll move the runner, Jackson, up to third base. So pass ball on Mr. Rick Dempsey puts Jackson at third with only 1 out. Now the infield's going to have to come in. Infield is in. That's a 6-6, and that's a double. Didn't matter if they in or out. That's a solid double by Salazar, and that will score the run. Right now, it's tentatively unearned, but that could change. And now Jamie Quirk, the number 9 hitter in the order, steps to the plate. Quirk hitting .206, no homers and 2 driven in. Salazar at second, not being held. 4-6, left-handed, and that's trouble again. 1-6 is a double. That is a 5. It's a double, so this run is now earned. So both of these runs are earned. And it's 2-0 Kansas City. Looking for more. Back to the top of the order, and Willie Wilson. It's a 3-2. It's a fly to center, and that's out number 2. 2 down for Kevin Seitzer. Clutch situation for Seitzer. And in the clutch, he is going to lose a hit on 1-3. Everything else he's neutral on. 5-10. Ballpark blast, but it's only 1-3. That's an 8. It's a deep fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. Kansas City gets 2 runs. They're both going to be earned, as it turns out. And at the end of 2 complete, it is Kansas City 2 and Cleveland nothing. Hello, Mr. Chris. Yep, this is the top game, no question about it. Played them all, and this is the best. I don't care. You can give all the dings you want to about 50-50 and customer service, and they don't have enough seasons and all that stuff. This is still the best game. Player ratings probably take it over the top. Plus, everybody's lefty-righty. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. Carmen Castillo, .273 average, 2 homers, 4 driven in. 2-5, and that's going to be a leadoff walk. First base runner for Cleveland. Castillo is not going to be held. He's not a threat to go anywhere. Here's Brett Butler. He had been injured quite a bit. He's only got 22 at bats, but he is hitting .409. No homers or runs batted in, but he was injured much of the season. Just getting his legs back under him. It's 5-12, and that's ground ball second base C. That will advance Castillo to second base, as the only play for Frank White was to go to first. So it kind of a pseudo sacrifice, but he is charging at bat. Hello, Mr. Gudeman. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well on this Friday evening. Rick Dempsey is your batter. Dempsey on the replay is hitting .233, a homer and 10 driven in. Nothing on the habit. Castillo at second will not be held. That's a 5-4 for Jackson. That's a fly ball center field X. And center fielder is going to be Willie Wilson. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it, but with the runner on, got to make sure the runner can't move up. 1 and a 7, I don't believe he can. Has to be a fly ball A, and I don't think it's going to happen here. Or fly ball 1 in super advanced. But he's a 1 and 8. It's an F2, so runner has a possibility of moving up, but Castillo doesn't run all that well, but we'll see if he tries it. First of all, E1 on Wilson, he has to avoid a 17, so he doesn't make an error. He does not. So F2, runner on third has a chance to, on second has a chance to move up. We calculate everything and see if he can do it. Castillo's a 14. Wilson's arm's a +2. That's a 16. So 1 to 16, he moves up to third. 17 or 18 or 19, he holds. 20, he's out. He's going to make it to third base. So Dempsey will fly to center, and tagging up from second to third is Castillo. But now there are 2 outs. So it's going to take, well, it could be anything. When you're on third base with 2 outs, you can score on a lot of different things. Pass ball, error, wild pitch. So there is an advantage to being at third base with 2 outs rather than second. Here's Bernazard. Bernazard popped short his first trip. Another clutch situation against left-handers. He loses the clutch hit on 2-9 and 2-10. So right there are 2 anti-clutches right in a row. 2-2, though, is going to be a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So Cleveland threatens but can't get anything to happen. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0 Kansas City. And Schrom will come back out and try to improve on what he did last inning, which wasn't very good. So Juan Benitez will lead things off. .64 for Schrom. That's a catcher X. Catcher in this case is Dempsey. He's a 3E13. But nobody's on base, so there can't be any wild pitches or pass balls. 3 and 19 is probably a G2 of some sort, but we'll check it out. Let's see here. A 3 and a 19 on a catcher is a G2. So it'll be a ground ball, assuming there's no error, but he's an E13. A lot of error chances here. 4, 6, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So basically 3, 4, or 6, and then it jumps to 15 through 18. So if he can find something 7 to 14, he's all right. That's a 6. That's going to be an error on Dempsey. Right there, E13 and a 6 is an error. So it's an error on a G2. So we go over here to G2. G2 and an error batter to first. So very simple. Nobody was on. It's just a dribbler in front of the plate, and Dempsey booted it. So Benitez will reach. That's the second Cleveland error of the game. E2 on Dempsey. And Benitez will be on. He will not be held. He did not have any steals at all during the season. And that'll bring up George Orta, designated hitter. 210 for Orta. He's going to pop it up to second base. Easy play for Bernazard. 1 down. For the venerable Frank White. White flew to center his first chance. That's a 3-11, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout, actually, for Schrom. Jackson doesn't have one yet, but Schrom now has his second strikeout. For Thad Bosley. Bosley flew to left his first chance. 3-10, and that's a ground ball to second. Since it's a ground ball A, it would have been a double play, so we'll call it a 4-6 fielder's choice to end the inning. So this time the error does not come back to bite him. And we've played 3 innings. It is still 2-0 Kansas City from Royal Stadium. Left-hander Danny Jackson back out. And Julio Franco, shortstop, will lead it off. Whoa, we got hopping dice. So my house rule, they all 4 have to fit in the tray or they don't count. So we're going to re-roll everything. 5-4, and Jackson on a 5-4 is a fly ball center field X. That's Wilson. He's a 1. We know he's going to catch it. Just has to avoid a 17 on an E1. And he barely does as a 14, so it's good enough. He does make the catch. Nobody on base, you don't need to worry about whether it's an F1, F2, or F3. It really doesn't matter. So the D20 roll was irrelevant. 1 away for Franco. Brings up Joe Carter. 3-3 for Carter. That's a ballpark single, which is a 1 to an 11. That's a 5. That's a base hit for Joe Carter. 1 out single off the ballpark. Carter 2 through 5 to get the lead. Both pitchers have 0 quotients, so if he gets the lead, it'd be a 1 to 17. He does not get the lead, so moot point. So Carter will stay where he is, and that brings up Pat Tabler. 4-6 for Danny Jackson. That's a walk. So all of a sudden, 2 are on, and Cleveland might have something cooking. For for the league's leading hitter, Brooke Jacoby. Even though he made an out last time, he's still hitting 407 on the replay. So if you're Cleveland, this is the guy you want up there. 1-8, and he draws a walk. It's going to load the bases. So Jackson, trouble with the strike zone, maybe getting squeezed by the umpire. It's bases loaded time for Corey Snyder. Infield with a 2-0 lead, they're going to play back to the double play. They want to try to prevent a big inning if possible. Maybe get out of it with a double play ground ball. 3-4 against the left-hander is not going to work. 1 to 3 is a triple. Anything else is a double. That's going to be a double for Corey Snyder. It's at least going to tie the game. Jacoby only runs an 11, though, so with only 1 out, I don't think they're going to try it, but we'll double-check it. It does go to center field, so it does make it intriguing because the center fielder, Wilson, does have a +2 arm. The trail runner, Jacoby, was not being held, makes him a 12, and the +2 is a 14. Ooh, you know what? They're going to send him. 1 to 14, they're going to try it. Snyder will take third on the throw regardless, but a 1 to 14, they're going to send him. And he's out, so... Got greedy, but Snyder does take third on the throw. But it is a 2-run double. Jacoby's going to be out. We'll call it 8 to 6 to 2 on the relay. Sometimes you have to be a little creative on that. So it's a double. And we're calling it 8 to 6 to 2. Nice relay from Salazar and the tag by Quirk. So that's 2 away, but the game is now tied. And a runner is at third base with 2 outs for Carmen Castillo. Clutch situation. He will lose a hit on 210. But he still hits lefties pretty well. That's a 111, and that's a ground ball to third. There's a plus there, but the infield's obviously not in. So it's just a ground ball to third to end the inning. But Cleveland gets 2 runs. They do it on the double by Snyder. And they have tied this game up at 2 apiece. Now it's up to Kansas City. Try to get those runs back. And up to the plate first of all will be Bo Jackson. Singled and scored first time up. 5-9, and that's a fly ball to center field. Brett Butler is there, 1 away. What a difference a number makes. 5-10 would have been a home run chance, but still would have been an out, but would have been more interesting. Here's Angel Salazar. He doubled his first time up. 1-8 against the right-hander, and he pops it up to Jacoby. 2 quick outs. Schrom may be settling in now. And here's Quirk. Doubled his first time up. Oh, we got hopping dice again. Boy, these things are hopping like jumping beans. 6-7 for Quirk. 1-17 is a single, so that will be a 2-out single for Quirk. He obviously will not be held. But it does keep the inning going for Willie Wilson. Wilson's 0 for 2. Popped to first in the first and flew to center in the second. 4-6, switch hitter bang left, and that's a double 1-6. So 15 is a single 2 stars. That's going to put runners at the corners with 2 outs. Now, all of a sudden, it looked like nothing was happening, but all of a sudden, it could turn this thing around. Wilson gets the lead on a 3 through 6. 3, 4, 5, or 6, he gets the lead. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. In a clutch situation, Kevin Seitzer in the clutch against righties. He loses a hit on a 1-3. Neutral everywhere else. Seitzer trying to put the Royals back in the lead. 3-9, and well, he walks, and that extends the inning. It's going to load the bases for Juan Beniquez. So Beniquez, and that is the second walk issued by Schrom. Now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Beniquez in the clutch. He's a definite clutch hitter. On a 1-6 and 1-8, he gains hits. And also on a 3-9, he gains hits, and a 3-11. So he's got 4 numbers where he gains hits. That's a 2, though. Chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's a chance of a balk. Schrom's balk rating's a 5. That's a 4. He balks in a run. How do you like that? He balks in a run. Pressure must have got to him, and he balks in the run. Kansas City takes back the lead 3-2. Beniquez still up in the clutch situation. 1-9, and that's another walk, so I would have scored anyway without the balk. It's the 3rd walk issued by Schrom. And now up is George Orta, bases loaded situation. Hello, Kevin and Ernest. Good to see you. Oh, Ernest, I think I already said something to you, Ernest. I'm not sure. But all right, so Orta in the clutch is neutral. 1, chance for a wild pitch. Wild pitch number's a 5. That's a 3. He's going to wild pitch in him. So he balks a run in. Now he wild pitches a run in. Truly havoc in this inning for Mr. Schrom. It's been a havoc-filled inning. 2 runs are coming in, 1 on a balk and 1 on a wild pitch. Both of those are earned runs. Here's Orta. 5-6 to the lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Franco. He's a 2 E26. 2 and a 5. That could be marginal, but I think he'll get to it. We'll find out. On a 2 and a 5. 2 and a 5. There's a G3 pound, but nobody was being held. Beniquez doesn't run that well. He would not have been held at second, so no worries there. His error rating's an E26 at shortstop, so he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And he barely does with an 11, but it's good enough to make the play. So the inning is finally over as Orta is retired. But Kansas City gets those 2 runs right back, courtesy of a balk and a wild pitch, plus a couple of base on balls. Only 2 hits in the inning. They score 2 runs to go with the 2 walks and the balk and wild pitch. So we start at the top of the 5th. Danny Jackson back out, now has the lead back. We're facing Brett Butler, leadoff man. That's a 3-8. Lefty on lefty. 3-8. 1 to 5 is a single. That's a 4. So Brett Butler will reach on the leadoff single, and he'll be looking to run. To get the lead, needs a 2 through 8 or a 12. So he's almost guaranteed to get the lead. The only way he doesn't is a 9, 10, or 11. That's a 5, but it's a 2. So it's a chance of a balk on the pitcher, Jackson, but his balk rating is a 0, so he cannot balk. But it means Butler cannot obtain the lead, so he will have to hold. And that'll bring up Dempsey. Something didn't go through there. There we go. Let's see, 3-7. 3-7 for Dempsey is a ground ball shortstop A. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So not being able to get the lead and get the steal cost him a double play. Pitcher's best friend, 6-4-3, takes care of things. 2 down. Base is clear for Bernazard. 1-7 against the lefty. That's a base on balls. And for Jackson, boy, he's piling up these walks here. 1, 2, 3. That's his 4th walk. And he hasn't struck anybody out yet, but he's walked 4. Bernazard to get the lead, a 4 through 6 or an 11. That's an 8. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here comes Franco. Julio Franco. 4-12. Jackson against the righty. Fly ball right field X. That's Bosley. He's a 4-11, so not very good defensively. 4 and an 8's probably going to drop in for a hit, I would think. Thank you, Marlon. I'm getting into that game, trying to as much as I can. Expanding my horizons. All right, a 4 and an 8 is an SI2, so it does drop for a hit. SI2 will send Bernazard to third base. And now how big was that double play? Now we're going to check and see if there's an error involved. He's an E11, so he's got to avoid 4, 16, 13, 15, 3, and 18 on that E11. That's a 7, so there's no error, but it will be a single. And it will put runners at the corners with 2 outs for Joe Carter. Franco could try to get the lead, but they want to give Carter a chance to hit. They don't want to take the bat out of his hands. Jackson facing Carter, 1 for 2. That's a 4-7, and he will walk. That's going to load the bases. That is walk number 5 by Danny Jackson. And it's going to load the bases for Mr. Bases Loaded. Pat Tabler, historically in real world, is known. He's a legend with the bases loaded. Here it's a clutch situation, and unusual that Strat doesn't rate him as a clutch. But he is notorious for hitting with the bases loaded. And all this after the double play. So imagine without the double play, what would be going on? It's a 5-8, and that's a fly to left. It's going to end the inning. So Danny Jackson pitches around all the gunk and gets out of it with no damage done. Golden opportunity missed by the Tribe right there. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 4-2. This is the fatigue inning for Schrom. So Schrom will have to watch out for his fatigue if he starts giving up some hits. 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Butler. He's a 2E5. 2E5. 2 and 18, he'll get to it. E5 and a 10, that's going to be good all day long. 1 away. 4th ad, Bosley. (6'9", lefty. Ground ball to second. Bernazard makes the play. 2 down. And that'll send up Bo Nose. (6'11". Ground ball pitcher X. That's right back to Schrom. He's an E10. He's a 4E10. 4 and a 7. Not sure if he gets to this or not. We'll see. 4 and a 7. He does. It's a G3. And he's an E10. So on the E10, he's got to avoid 11, 15, 3, and 18 on the E10. That's a 10. He barely avoids it. So good play for Schrom. A little shaky, but he makes the play. That's a 3 up, 3 down inning for the Royals. And Schrom keeps full endurance into the 6th. 4-2 Royals as we start the top of the 6th. Jackson, this will be his fatigue inning. Keep an eye on him. He'll be facing Jacoby, Snyder, and Castillo for the Tribe. Jacoby, 4-2 against Jackson. That's a fly ball right field X. And again, that's Bosley. He's not very good. 4E11. 4-17, though, he'll get to that. Now we got to worry about the E11. E11 and a 12. Not sure about that one. E11, there's a 13, but there's no 12. So Bosley will make the play. 1 away for Corey Snyder. 3-8 for Snyder against the lefty. That's a strikeout. And that is the first strikeout of the game for Danny Jackson. It took him 6 innings to get it, but he gets it to go with his 5 walks. Here's Castillo. 2-7, and he gets another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts in his fatigue inning. He keeps full endurance. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 4-2, favor of Kansas City. Schrom has his full endurance as well, as he gave up nothing in the previous inning. So both pitchers looking to extend. Again, the bullpens are pretty well rested because they only used 1 reliever each in the previous game, and that reliever only went 1 inning. So nobody in the bullpen's fatigued where he can't pitch. That's for sure. Everybody's available. Here's Salazar. 6-6, and that's a solid double for Salazar. His second double of the game. I believe both of them came off that 6-6 result. So Schrom, that's his first ding against him. And that'll bring up Jamie Quirk, who's 2 for 2. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch on Schrom, which is a 5. And no wild pitch this time. 2-4. And that's another double. Back-to-back doubles. And look at that. Jamie Quirk from the number 9 position is 3 for 3 with a couple of doubles. You like that? Ken Schrom's not liking that. It's now 5-2, and the Cleveland bullpen is loosening. They do have activity in their bullpen. It appears to be right-handed pitcher Rich Yett. Rich Yett is loosening in the bullpen. But he's not ready to come in just yet. So we got to wait a little bit longer, let him warm up. Here's Wilson. 2-7, and that is a ground ball third base B. That's going to freeze Quirk at second base for out number 1. 1 down, and that will take us to Kevin Seitzer. That's a 3-3 for Seitzer. It's a fly ball right field B. 2 down. Now it's up to Juan Beniquez. And he gets a lot of hits in the clutch, so you got to be careful about him. Schrom to Beniquez. 2-8, and look at this. 1-4 is a double, 5-20 is a single. It'd be a single 2 stars. That's good enough to score Quirk. He is now 6-2, and that's going to be it for Mr. Schrom. He cannot go any further. They're going to make that walk to the mound, and Mr. Schrom will have to leave. So Schrom is out of there. Can't close the book on him yet because he's responsible for Beniquez. And coming into the game is Rich Yett for Cleveland. Get the numbers on yet, as Schrom hit his fatigue after that single. So they're not messing around any further. They're going straight to Rich Yet. And on the replay, Yet 0-1 with a save, 4.71 earned run average, 21 innings pitched, 17 hits, 14 walks, and 12 strikeouts. And George Orta, the batter. Orta 0 for 3. 1-2, and he's going to ground it to short, fielder's choice, and now he's 0 for 3. It's going to end the inning, but 2 more runs come in. We can now close the book on Mr. Schrom. As we go to the computer to get his final stats. And he's on the hook for the loss. And if he takes the loss, he'll drop to 1-2. Schrom goes 5 2/3 innings. Gives up 9 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts, and Rich Yet. He's your new pitcher. Yet's a -4 hold. So that's going to make him a -3 overall with the catcher. But now we go to the top of the 7th. Danny Jackson enjoying a 6-2 lead and full endurance as well. He'll be facing Butler, Dempsey, and Bernazard. Those will be his opponents to face. And leading off, Butler against Danny Jackson. 3-7 for Butler. That's a leadoff walk. Butler draws the walk, and even down 6-2, he's going to be looking to run. Try to get something started for him. 2 through 8 or a 12 gets him the lead. That's a 7, but that's a 1, means he could get picked off. His safe range is a 13. 1 to 13, he makes it back. 14 or higher, he's picked off. He got back, but now he can't get the lead. So he cannot establish a good lead. So Butler will have to hang at first base. And now since we're in the 7th inning, pinch hitting is now allowed. So Dempsey will be called back, and we will get a pinch hitter for Rick Dempsey. Chris Banda will take over to catch going forward. They will bring on Andre Thornton to pinch hit. So Andre Thornton will pinch hit for Cleveland. And Banda will stay in the game to catch in the 7th. So Andre Thornton, your pinch hitter. On the replay for Thornton, who is mainly just a designated hitter. In fact, that's all he is. And not a very good one at that. He's hitting a .196 in 51 at bats. No homers and 1 run batted in. He only hit 118 real world, so he's doing better than that in this situation. Jackson to Thornton. 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to strike out. So Thornton is out of there. And that'll send up Tony Bernazard. .48. Bernazard switch your bang right. 4.8 is a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue yet. So the strikeout is good. That is strikeout number 4 for Danny Jackson. And that'll bring up Franco. .48, and that's another strikeout. The dot again is there, but he is not tired. So he actually strikes out the side other than the walk. And Indians come away with nothing. New catcher will be Chris Bando to put him in the game on the computer. He will take over behind the plate. And we'll see if Danny Jackson comes back out for an 8th inning or not. They might cap him at the 7. To wait and see how they decide to play it. They could extend him some more because he still has a little bit of fatigue left, but they might say that he's had enough. I don't know. But it's the 7th inning stretch, so let's get ready to stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
All right. 7th inning stretch is in the books. And we are ready to get going. Hello, Mr. Robert. Good to see you. Hello, Denny. I don't remember seeing you before. Next History Maker game probably will be Sunday, I'm thinking. That's against the Cubs. The Reds will be back at home against the Chicago Cubs, but they got to deal with Greg Maddux. That's their downfall. Greg Maddux will be going for the Cubs, and the schlub Scott Scudder will be going for the Reds. So it's not a very promising pitching matchup. But that's why you roll the dice. All right, speaking of rolling dice, here we go. Frank White, your batter against Rich Not Yet. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a pop out to the shortstop, Franco. And there's one away. Kansas City does have action in their bullpen. Dan Quisenberry is loosening in the Royal bullpen right now, and he might be coming in the 8th inning. Here's Bosley. 2-5 for Bosley. He's going to ground it to first. Jacoby will just step on the bag himself. 2 down as he waves off Yet, who was coming over to cover. And here's Bo Jackson. He's 1 for 3. That's a 1-7, struck him out. So 1-2-3 inning for Rich Yet. He's faced 4 batters, retired them all. And we go to the 8th inning. Score still 6-2, Kansas City. And the Royals have decided that that's it for Danny Jackson. He's done enough, and they're going to the pen. So they will be going to the Submariner Dan Quisenberry. He's well rested in their bullpen. It's not a save situation, but he's 0 hold and a +1. So it's a +1. Let's get the numbers on Quisenberry on the replay. Quisenberry 2-1 with 2 saves and a 1.86 earned run average. 10 innings pitched, 11 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He'll be facing facing Carter, Tabler, and Jacoby. Heart of the order for the Tribe. 4-6, and that's going to be a solid double off of Quisenberry. Solid double on the 4-6. That will bring up Tabler. Quisenberry gets into trouble. They'll warm up Steve Farr in a hurry. Quisenberry to Tabler. 2-10. That's a fly to left. That's 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send us to Brooke Jacoby. 6-6, and that's going to be a line out to first. Out number 2. Benitez snags it. And now here's Corey Snyder. 4-5, and that's another double. Boy, 4-6 and 4-5, he gives up doubles. So that's an RBI double for Corey Snyder. Makes it a 6-3 game. And that'll take us to Castillo. Castillo is 0 for 2 got some ballpark blast, but he's got a lot of outs there as well. So they're going to make a move to the bench. And they're going to bring out Mel Hall to pinch hit for Castillo. And Mel Hall will stay in the game as a DH. So Mel Hall, left-hander, will be coming on. And we'll get the numbers off of Hall. On the replay, that's going to leave Frobel and Nixon as the two bench players remaining for the Indians. Hall hitting .347, 3 homers, 13 driven in. Clutch situation for Hall. That's a 2-7, and that's a strikeout. So Hall is out, and that's going to do it. The Tribe gets 1 run. That's all they get. That is all they get. If you're curious, 2-7, Castillo would have struck out too. So that was a Kobayashi Maru no-win situation on that one. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Rich Yett will hang in there again. As he has retired all 4 he has faced, so there's no sense in not leaving him out there. Salazar is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. 2-7, he's going to strike out this time, though. That'll bring up Jamie Quirk. Quirk is 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single. Scored a couple of runs, drove in a couple of runs. 3-4, and he's going to be hit by the pitch. So apparently Cleveland didn't like the way he was hitting against him, so he plunks him. Quirk not too happy about that. Quirk is not happy about that at all. Kind of trying to shake it off if he can. Looks like he'll stay in the game. Actually, no, he's going to come out of the game. Bill Pecota will run for him. So Pecota will run for Quirk, and then Larry Owen will come in to catch the 9th. Owen's actually a better defender. Pecota to pinch run here in the 8th. So Pecota will pinch run. He does have an asterisk there, so they're going to have to hold him on. And he's going to try for the lead. Needs a 4 to get the lead. Does not get the lead, but they will have to hold him on, so that could open up a hole for somebody maybe. And again, Larry Owen will come in and catch the 9th. Pecota runs at a 13. Willie Wilson is your batter. With them holding Pecota on, that might open up a hole in the right-hand side. Hard to say, but it's possible. Wilson is 1 for 4. 3-8 for Willie Wilson. That's a single to center field. That'll move Pecota to second base. First and second. First and second with only 1 out for Kevin Seitzer. (2-4) for Seitzer. Ground ball third base A. That's going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to end the inning. Just what the Rich Yett needed, pitcher's best friend. So we go to the 9th. Score 6-3. New catcher for Kansas City will be Larry Owen. And the new pitcher will be Steve Farr. Farr will come in and close it. Cap Quisenberry at 1 inning. I forgot to put the numbers on Jackson as well. Jackson went 7. Quisenberry went 1, gave up 2 hits and a run, which was earned. No walks and a strikeout. Get Jackson's number real quick. off the computer to make it faster. Jackson went 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. Walked 6, struck out 5. But now Steve bridged too far, coming in to try to save it for the Royals. It is a save situation at 6-3. 3-run deficit is a obviously in the ninth is a save situation. Steve Farr coming on to try to get that very thing. And we'll get the numbers on Farr on the replay. Farr is 2-1 with a save. However, his ERA is 7.50. 12 innings pitched, 14 hits, 12 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So the 12 walks in 12 innings, that's what's really been hurting Steve Farr. He's got to limit those base on balls. Due up for the Cleveland Indians to be Butler, Bando, and Bernazard here in the ninth. Butler, Bando, and Bernazard against Steve Farr. 4-6 left-handed. That's a walk, and that's the bugaboo we were talking about. Got to limit those base on balls. Butler down by 3 is not going to try to run. He will have to be held, but they will not send him. Here's Bando, his first at bat since coming in as a defensive replacement. He's hitting a .190, a homer and 8 driven in. 6-10, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball center field X. Again, we're looking at Wilson. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. Let's make sure it's not a F1, which it wasn't. And the E1 has to avoid 17, which he does. So it's a fly out to center for Bando. 1 down, back to the top of the order, and Bernazard. Bernazard can get on. It would bring the tying run to the plate. His job is to somehow get on base by hook or by crook. Oh, another hopping dice. Let's redo that again. 3-9, and that's a ground ball first base. Hey, that's going to be a 3-6-3 double play to end the ball game. Tough break there for Bernazard, a 3-6-3 twin killing, and that's the way the game ends. The Kansas City Royals defeat the Cleveland Indians by the score of 6-3, and we'll get the totals here very shortly. Ken Schrom takes the loss. He's now 1-2 as the losing pitcher. The winning pitcher is Danny Jackson. He's now 2-1. The save to Farr, and this is his second save. He went 1 inning, gave up a walk, nothing else. So the totals, 6 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for Kansas City. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for Cleveland. Left on base, Cleveland left on 7, Kansas City left on 8. There were no home runs in this game, so no long balls. Very rare, but there were no long balls. Kansas City improves to 11-11. They even their record, 11-11. Cleveland drops to 11-14. Final numbers on Yet. He went 2 1/3. Gave up 1 hit, and that was it. Struck out 2. Couldn't ask for much more out of Rich Yet, and he saved the rest of their bullpen, so they only had to use 1 guy. So that, for future reference, will help them out, although tomorrow is an off day for both teams. So they'll get extra rest as well. So thank you all for spending part of your Friday evening with me. Don't forget, season premiere of the NBC Game of the Week will be at noon tomorrow, noon Eastern tomorrow. Season ticket baseball, New York Yankees at the Texas Rangers. Ron Guidry against John Matlack. I've had 3 exhibition games now in season tickets, so I feel like I've gotten the flow of that now, so hopefully that will go off without a hitch tomorrow, and I won't make too many mistakes. That's the hope. But you never know what can happen when the actual game starts. Again, tomorrow night, back to Strat-O-Matic. It will be the Hotel California game. It'll be the Boston Red Sox against the California Angels. Al Nipper against the Candyman, John Candelaria. That will be the game tomorrow night. But tomorrow at noon, season ticket baseball, 1978 NBC Game of the Week. Been looking forward to it for a while, and it's finally here. April 12th is going to finally arrive. My birthday weekend. So had today off, was very restful, rolled some dice, just generally relaxed, and hopefully doing the same thing tomorrow and Sunday as well. So thank you all for spending part of your time with me. Hope you enjoyed this presentation of Strat-O-Matic. And as usual, encourage you to play whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.